We all know the gods of Greece and Rome. Their names and stories are everywhere. But what if I told you that long before Zeus ever sat on Olympus, a vast and powerful pantheon reigned across Africa? These weren't just myths. They were the heart of entire civilizations. These are the stories of the gods who were pushed aside, the creators, warriors, and wise ones whose voices were silenced. Today, we bring their truth back into the light. Africa isn't just the cradle of humanity, it's the cradle of spirituality. For thousands of years, its people and their gods shaped the world. So why is it that when we talk about ancient deities, we usually skip an entire continent? The powerful gods of creation, war, and wisdom who once ruled have been overshadowed by the arrival of outside religions. Their stories aren't really lost, though. They've been waiting in the wings, preserved in oral traditions, sacred rituals, and the very soul of the land. So today, we're taking a journey across the continent to meet the divine beings who were pushed into the footnotes of history. Our journey starts in the Nile Valley, home to some of the world's most epic civilizations, ancient Egypt and the powerful kingdom of Kush in Nubia. Here, the gods weren't distant figures. They were woven into the sun, the river, and the very fabric of the cosmos. At the top of the pantheon was Amun-Ra, the mighty sun god believed to rule over everything. He was the source of all life. His warmth brought the harvest, but his power could also be terrifyingly destructive. His worship was central not only to the Egyptians, but also deeply influenced the Nubian kingdom to the south. Then you have Isis, the great mother goddess of magic, love, and wisdom. Her power was so immense it was believed to cross the line between life and death itself, offering protection to anyone who called her name. She was the divine healer, a beacon of strength and hope. But keeping order in the universe was a tough job, and that fell to the goddess Mat. She was the embodiment of truth, justice, and cosmic balance. It was her sacred duty to keep the universe from collapsing into chaos, and every pharaoh's right to rule depended on upholding her principles. While Egyptian beliefs heavily influenced their neighbors, Mat was a distinctly Egyptian concept. Further south, in the kingdom of Kush, another god demanded respect, a Pedmok, the fierce, lion-headed god of war. As a uniquely Nubian god, he symbolized the kingdom's strength and protective power. His image, carved into temple walls, was a clear warning to enemies and a promise of safety to his people. The Kushites also worshipped the creator god, Amen, showing the deep spiritual connection that flowed along the Nile. While the gradual decline of the Nubian kingdoms around the 4th century CE and beyond saw the influence of these gods fade, their memory is etched into the very stones of the land. Now, let's head west to a region with a spiritual tradition so powerful. Its echoes are still felt today across the Atlantic in the diaspora. For the Yoruba, Fon, and Ashanti peoples, their gods weren't just abstract ideas. They were active players in the drama of daily life. At the very top of the Yoruba pantheon sits Olorun, the supreme sky god. As the creator of the universe, Olorun represents ultimate wisdom and authority, ruling over a huge assembly of deities called the Orishas. But you couldn't just call up Olorun directly. For that, you needed Eshu, the messenger and trickster god. Eshu is often misunderstood. He's not a villain. He's the guardian of the crossroads, the enforcer of cosmic law, and the one who shows up to test your integrity. He's both a clever teacher and a fierce protector who bridges the gap between our world and the divine. And then there's Ogan, the mighty god of iron, war, and technology. Ogan is the one who literally forged the path for civilization, using his mastery of metal to create tools and weapons. He's the patron of blacksmiths, surgeons, and anyone who wields a blade, representing both the creative and destructive sides of human innovation. From the waters came Yamaya, the great mother goddess of the sea and protector of women. Often pictured as a nurturing mermaid, she represents the essence of motherhood and fertility. Alongside her are other powerful goddesses like Abba, a river goddess whose stories often revolve around the sacrifices made in marriage and her legendary rivalry with the goddess Ocean. Over in modern-day Benin, the Fon people tell of the supreme creator, Nana Buluku. This mother goddess gave birth to the sun god Lisa and the moon goddess Mawu, who then worked together to create the world. These gods weren't just worshipped on holidays. They were woven into the fabric of society, their stories shaping everything from family life to social order. As we move into the heart of the continent and down to its southern tip, we find creation stories that are raw, powerful, and deeply connected to the earth. In the traditions of the Bantu peoples of Central Africa, there's the story of Mbambo. In the beginning, there was only darkness and water, and Mbambo, a giant, existed all alone. Then, one day, a searing pain gripped his stomach, and he vomited up the sun, the moon, and the stars. The pain didn't stop, and out came the animals, the plants, and finally, humanity. It's an incredible story of a universe born from divine pain and release. Further west, the Dogon people of Mali tell of their creator god Uma. It was Uma who brought the universe into being. And from the sky, he sent the Namo, amphibious ancestral spirits who brought humanity the knowledge of farming, art, and how to live together. In southern Africa, the Zulu people speak of Unkalunku, whose name means the very great one or the first ancestor. He emerged from a bed of reeds and brought forth all of life, mountains, rivers, animals, and the first people. The Zulu Earth Mother, Nam Kubalain, is revered as a source of fertility and rain, a powerful female force in their cosmology. And for the Sand People, some of the most ancient inhabitants of the region, spirituality is expressed through sacred trance dances. Their gods and spirits are tied to the sky, the rain, and the fire, and these dances are their way of communicating directly with the divine and the spirits of their ancestors. In all these traditions, ancestors aren't just remembered. They're revered as living guides who connect the community to the gods. So if these gods were so vital, why do we call them lost? The truth is, they weren't lost, they were silenced. And it happened in a few key ways. First, The arrival and spread of monotheistic religions like Christianity and Islam across Africa systematically suppressed indigenous beliefs. Local gods were often demonized as evil or dismissed as superstition, and their followers were pressured, sometimes violently, to convert. This process went into overdrive during the era of European colonialism. Colonial administrators and missionaries saw traditional African spirituality as primitive and an obstacle to their civilizing mission. They actively shut down rituals, destroyed sacred sites, and forced their own cultural and religious frameworks onto the people. And here's the most fragile part. Many of these traditions were oral. The histories, myths, and rituals weren't written in books. They were passed down from generation to generation through stories, songs, and ceremonies. This created a living, breathing faith, but it also made it incredibly vulnerable. When that chain of transmission was broken by war, forced conversion, or colonial suppression, entire libraries of knowledge were in danger of vanishing. These stories are a vital part of our shared human history, and they deserve to be told. If you believe these narratives are important and want to see more deep dives into our past, please support the channel by hitting that like button and subscribing. It really does help us bring these essential stories back into the conversation. And let us know in the comments which of these deities you'd like to see a full video dedicated to. From the sun-drenched temples of Amun-Ra to the iron forges protected by Ogun, the so-called lost gods of Africa are far more than just myths. They are the bedrock of entire civilizations. They were creators and destroyers, judges and tricksters, embodying a complex understanding of nature, morality, and our connection to our ancestors. Though powerful historical forces tried to erase them, their essence survived. It lives on in the proverbs still spoken in villages across the continent. It thrives in the vibrant diaspora religions of Santeria, Candomblé, and Vodou, which carried the orishas of West Africa across an ocean and into a new world. And it's being rediscovered today by scholars, artists, and a new generation reclaiming their divine heritage. These gods were never truly lost. They were silenced. But now, their stories are rising again, inviting all of us to look past the standard histories and rediscover the profound spiritual legacy of Africa.